The island of Sodor is a very special place indeed. There are lots of different forms of transportation: road, bus, tractor, and railway, among many others, of course, but railway is the most popular. You can see lots of engines hard at work, like Thomas, who always cheers everyone up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the island of Sodor.
Snow Edward. Edward is one of the oldest engines on the island of Sodor. He is a very hard worker and works very hard. He always keeps good timing and always works to make sure that his friends are happy and healthy and really useful. It was winter on the island of Sodor. Phone lines were down and lots of tracks were blocked, but the engines were trying their best to work their hardest and to keep the Fat Controller's railway running on time like clockwork. Woo woo! It's so cold out, whistled Henry. I don't know if I can go out and take the flying kipper tonight, he said. I might have to stay in, he whistled. Oh, never mind, said Percy. I have to take the mail train in a few hours. You're both blasted, said Gordon. I have to take the express. That is a much harder job to do in snow than kipper and mail. And anyways, who's going to clear our tracks? I won't wear a snowplow. You have to, said Edward. Snowplows are essential, he said kindly. And anyways, I'm clearing the lines. Heh, said Gordon. You can't clear snow. There's no space for me in the shed, said Edward. Yes, that's right, said Gordon. Leave the sheds now. You're not welcome here, said Gordon. Only really resourceful engines. Gordon, there's no cause to be rude, said Henry. Edward is just as good as engine as you. Never mind, said Gordon. Go off, Edward. Go somewhere else. Edward puffed away. He didn't want to be bothered with Gordon's negativity all the time. There was no cause to be rude, said Thomas and Henry. James! Sorry, Percy and Gordon. Edward puffed along. As he puffed along, he saw that snow was starting to fall and the tracks were getting blocked. I shall tell the other engines, he thought. Edward parked in a siding near Hampstead Hollow sheds. I hope I'll be safe here tonight. The snow was very thick out on the main line. Next morning, Edward was out and about, back out on the main line, just as he had supposed to have thought. I have to warn the other engines that the snow is very thick, he said. The tracks were icy when he met Marina and Valerie. Both of you mind the snow, Edward advised. I suggest you take care. I like that you have a brake van. That's very useful, said Edward. Please remember that the snow is very thick and the tracks are extremely icy. Yes, said Marina and Valerie, and Edward puffed on to see the other engines at Tidmouth sheds. Guys, the tracks are icy and the snow is very thick, whistled Edward. Please take care and do your best to run smoothly. We cannot afford accidents today, he whistled. Nonsense, said Gordon. I shall go as fast as I like with the express, you silly old steampot. Gordon, stop being so disrespectful, said Henry. Henry was horrified. Shut it, Henry, said Gordon. Let me be. Let Edward be. Mind your business. Gordon's right, Henry, said James. Edward can't clear snow. Right, said Edward. I can. I'll show you. But Edward went back to work. He didn't want to be bothered with the likes of Gordon. Bye-bye. Edward arrived to Knapford Station. Can you all please mind the snow today? We can't afford accidents, and I want you all to stay safe, whistled Edward. Yes, said Emily, Rosie, and Molly. Woo, woo. Thank you, said Edward. I won't mind the snow, said James. Oh, puffed Edward. If only they would listen. If only those big engines would listen to me. Gordon and Edward. Edward, you will go in front of Gordon's express, and you will clear the tracks for him. Yes, sir, said Edward. Why, said Gordon. I don't want that silly old engine in my way. Edward was very worried. Gordon pulled away before Edward could puff in front to clear the tracks. Come back, Gordon, come back. I have to clear your route for you. But Gordon steamed on. He'll be in trouble soon, said Thomas. And he was. Gordon came to a stop through the thick snow on the hill. Bother, said Gordon. But who should come to his rescue was Edward. Hello, Gordon. Having a bit of trouble, I see. That's not funny, said Gordon. I'm cold and cross and my passengers are tired. Just pull us out, please. Please, said Gordon. All right, said Edward. I'll go in front and make sure that all is right with the tracks. Edward! Edward backed on to Gordon, and he made sure that the rails were safe before they started away again. And with a toot and a hoot, Edward steamed away. Edward and Gordon steamed overhead. Edward cleared snow like a big, strong snowplow. Gordon was impressed. Edward was a really useful engine once more and found his confidence again. Edward jolted Gordon into a siding, and Edward ran off to the sheds to rest. Gordon, you owe Edward an apology. Yes, Edward, I'm sorry for being so disrespectful. And Edward shunted home a happier and stronger engine. Have you ever been teased by an old friend who's bigger than you, but you just might be older because they think you not useful? Edward is the oldest standard gauge engine on the island of Sodor. He knows how to keep time and work very hard. He keeps everything running like clockwork. But his bearings are worn. And Gordon took account to this. But once, due to Gordon's dismay, he got stuck on the hill, and Edward was the engine who came to his rescue and proved himself again to be the strong and wise engine that he is. See you next time.
He's the cheeky one. James. His fame but lots of